Files.
What if the true legacy of Ghostbusters isn't the movies we got, but the one that we didn't get? After 1989's Ghostbusters 2, the path forward for the franchise wasn't clear. But one man had a vision. A sequel so ambitious, so terrifying, it would have taken the franchise to hell and back. This is the story of Ghostbusters HellBent, the third movie that could have cemented the supernatural franchise as one of the greatest trilogies ever. After defeating ancient gods and mood slime powered paintings, where do you go? For original writer and star Dan Aykroyd, the answer was simple. You go to the source. Aykroyd's vision, developed throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s, was often nicknamed Ghostbusters 3 HellBent or Ghostbusters Go to Hell. The plot involved a satanic cult opening a permanent gateway to a demonic dimension in Manhattan, with the city to physically transform into a landscape of fire and torment. The Ghostbusters would have had to do the unthinkable, suit up and take the fight into the underworld itself. And the details Aykroyd dreamed up were pure, uncut, ghost-busting madness. We're talking about a script that featured a hell wagon, a militarised Ecto-1 equipped with a nuclear accelerator to blast through demonic hordes. The river of psychomagnethermic slime from the second movie was reimagined this time as a river of slime, a literal river of souls and the lifeblood of the underworld.
Is this true? Yes, it's true.
And in a stroke of genius, the Scoleri brothers, the two electric chair ghosts from the second movie's courtroom scene, were resurrected as powerful demonic generals leading Satan's army. This was a sequel that wasn't afraid of its own lore. It wanted to expand into something truly epic and terrifying, balancing the franchise's signature comedy with genuine horror. So why did this infernal epic never get made? First, and most famously, Bill Murray. He was consistently reluctant, reportedly unimpressed with later scripts, and resistant to returning.
Is this true? Yes, it's true.
Without Venkman's sarcastic heart, the dynamic would be broken. Second, the creative partners. The late great Harold Ramis and director Ivan Reitman felt the script was too massive, too dark, and frankly too expensive for the practical effects era of the late 1990s. They favoured a more character-driven story. Finally, the studio, Sony, saw the projected $150 to $200 million budget and balked. It was an astronomical risk. They chose the safe bet, to do nothing, over the creative swing. The project was stuck in development hell, a fate more ironic than any screenwriter could have ever devised. Instead of HellBent, we got three separate attempts to relaunch the franchise, each failing to capture the original's magic in its own unique way. First, the 2016 reboot. While featuring a talented comedic cast, the film made a fatal error. It jettisoned the original's tone for loud, unfunny, frantic improv and a complete over-reliance on CGI. The charming blue-collar feel of the original was replaced with a spectacle that felt artificial, forced, phony. To be honest, the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot is the worst thing to ever have the Ghostbusters name attached to it. Then came 2021's Afterlife, a direct sequel to the originals. It was a clear course correction, and it had its charms. But its biggest crutch was nostalgia. It was so busy winking at the audience, hey, remember Ecto-1? Remember the traps? Remember Gozer? That it forgot to tell a compelling new story. It felt less like a new chapter and more like a cover band playing their greatest hits. And finally, 2024's Frozen Empire. This was the ultimate proof that the franchise has no idea what it is anymore. It's a narrative traffic jam, cramming the original cast, the new cast, and a dozen underdeveloped subplots into one movie. It has the scale of HellBent, but none of the courage, delivering a generic, frosty villain and a story that feels focus grouped into oblivion. It's the ghost of a great idea, stripped of all its soul and terror. The ghost of HellBent isn't entirely gone. It lives on most visibly in the 2009 video game written by Aykroyd and Ramis, which is considered by many to be the true Ghostbusters 3. That game borrowed the tone and some plot elements, giving us a taste of that epic, lore-driven sequel. But looking at the 3 films we did get, a pattern emerges. A cycle of reboots, nostalgia, and corporate safe sequels that are terrified of taking a real risk. HellBent was that risk. It was the promise of a franchise that evolved, that trusted its audience to follow it into the darkness.
Nobody enjoys rushing headlong towards their death more than this fella.
We didn't get a trip to hell. We got a franchise forever trapped in the purgatory of its own past. Ghostbusters HellBent remains a monument to what could have been, a sequel with the courage to be more than just a rerun. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest movies are the ones that live only in our imagination. What's the lost movie you wish had been made? Let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll catch you next time for another Real Movies review.
All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.